Okay, so welcome back to the final session of the conference, SIGGU 2021. And so on behalf of both general co-chairs of the conference, Radha and me, and we would like to give some concluding or closing remarks, and to summarize the conference a bit, and also looking at something in the future. This will be roughly two parts. The first part is we want to give a very quick review of SIGGUCOM 2021. And first, I want to talk about some challenges. So the first type of challenge I want to talk about are social psychological challenges. I hope you agree with me. And so first, and as many of you have observed, so the number of attendees of different sessions and varies quite a lot, and mostly ranging from 10 to 30. So not a huge number. And I think this actually has something to do with how, psychologically and socially, and we are actually all managing our time and virtually, which is a challenge. And we have some authors couldn't attend or choose not to attend for the Q&A answers of the paper. And they all send pre-recorded videos, so that allowed us to better to play the video so that the participants can still see what is going on. And this year, we EAI and also decided to not to have a no-show penalty policy to appreciate better the difficulties many authors actually may have during the COVID pandemic, and because it's just so difficult for everyone to manage things virtually, and some authors were late for the Q&A session for their paper, and we actually didn't ask the reason, but I can see at least a few cases already about the time zone confusion. And because this is partially because of the different time zones, and partially I think because of the daytime saving time, because once actually when I was talking with one participants, and they actually realized that they didn't add one more because we are in GMT1. The actual time released on the program and also communicated via email actually is about UTC or GMT +1 because we are in summertime. So if you are, for instance, in GMT -5, for instance, you actually need to +6 rather than +5. And if you are in GMT, +9 in Japan, for instance, you have to -8, not -9. So that, caused a lot of confusion. And so yesterday, actually, we have the session, one also actually showed up at 8 p.m. 8 p.m. Yes, 8 p.m. in the night. I think clearly there was a miscalculation of time zone. And in general, I would say that the audience could be more active in asking questions, and again, this might be somehow related to virtually because it's harder to concentrate, and also because you can't really even talk with others and physically, and sometimes you need a bit more time to think about what question to ask and so on and so forth. And many must have not been able to attend some sessions due to other commitments, and I know that many session chairs, for instance, really still had a lot of other commitments because this is normal week, basically because the term are starting. And myself actually I started having case duty from this week because the school term starts. So, and it's just a lot of things going on. And one insight or lesson, let's say, out of these observations, and is physical conferences are very important. I would say that. So really, hopefully after the COVID pandemic really over, and we can go back to the physical conferences so that we can all really have a proper experience of attending conference, and also relaxing a bit, because currently really all of us, I think, are pretty much parallel work and life and attending conference. That is just too stressful. And of course, we also have a technical challenge, and it's about the teleconferencing platform. And our main platform is Zoom, and currently we're also on Zoom. But unfortunately, yesterday on day 3, and we got a lot of reports from participants about they couldn't connect. And some of our student helpers also had the same problem. And that clearly affected some of the sessions, particularly in the morning. And during I think the first one, probably in the early afternoon session. And but fortunately, we rightly decided to move to MS Teams for the second half of the day, and also send the email with the help of EAI staff, Alexandra, and so that we managed to run the last 2 sessions, I believe, and on MS Teams, and successfully. And but that was quite a last-minute effort, and it's very close to be affiliate for the second half of the day. And lesson learned for anyone who will run online conferences in the future: do not depend on single teleconferencing platform, no matter how familiar or how stable you thought it is. And Zoom is a system I have been using for over a year, and this is the first time, I can tell you, this was the first time I experienced that very strange difficulty. We also reported it to Zoom and yesterday, and they clearly didn't bother even answering us. And I also searched on Zoom website, on their Twitter announcements. I didn't see any announcement. I can judge that Zoom problem clearly is not spreading. Otherwise, they would have apologized to more. And it seems to be isolated problem, somehow related to our session. But that is also seems to be a local problem about some servers seems to be having problem, because some participants were okay with connecting, only some had a problem. And so basically, if you can't rely on a single platform and make a backup, and so like in the case of yesterday, it's about Zoom and MS Teams, and have both on hand. So, and making sure that you have team with you to communicate to participants as very, very quickly if you need to change. Right? Hopefully, this is some bad experience which turned into something good for the future. And next, I would like to, of course, to say many thanks and to different people. And first, I want to thank the 2 keynote speakers. So the first one is Bhavani Singham, so from University of Texas and Dallas, USA. And she delivers a keynote on Monday, and the screenshots. And we also did some Twitter announcements. So many of you also attended the keynote. I think it's a very interesting topic, looking at cybersecurity and AI and how they are, coming together. And we also have the second keynote speaker on Tuesday, and given by Agin Kada from Northeastern University in the United States. And he talked about very interesting, experiences and a lot of lessons. I think 10 lessons about how to basically transfer from academic research into innovation in industry, and about a company called LastLine, and he co-founded it, and of course, eventually successfully acquired by, I can't remember which large company, but he, of course, now is back to academia. But it's a lot of interesting lessons and experience he shared, and I think this is a very interesting one. So if any of you missed these 2 keynote speaker speeches, and we will upload them to YouTube, and it will be announced later, so you can actually watch them offline. And of course, I also want to thank the panel coordinator and the panelists. So the panel titled "The Privacy versus Security Trade-off: Needs for Balanced Ethics and the Regulatory Framework." So it happened on Tuesday, and so 1.5 hour panel and very colorful discussions, and so coordinated by Sandeep Shukla, and attended by Shlomi Dolev and Charity Wright and Tom Winston, and so as the panelists, and so very interesting discussion, and it's one of the well attended session as well. And again, if you missed this session, and we will also upload this panel discussion to YouTube, so you can watch offline as well. And of course, then I would like to thank all the session chairs. And so this is the full list of all the session chairs, except Radha and myself, of course. And it's done make a lot of sense to thank ourselves. So, and but all of other session chairs are listed here, and the names are highlighted. And because it's a number of them, I will not read all the names. And we say a big thanks to them. Spending the time and coming to us, and also chairing the session, asking questions, coordinating the discussion, and so on and so forth. And really appreciate. And of course, I also want to not just repeat, but also update about thanks to our PhD student helpers. And session chairs will know them well, and participants might also notice. And for each session, we have a person called technical moderator. So the technical moderator basically is the person in charge of playing back the video, pre-recorded video, and also doing the testing at the beginning for the AV device and so on and so forth, and providing any other technical support. And so I had a list at the opening. So the opening of the pre-recorded video, and that list is different from this list I'm showing now. Because the one PhD helper ultimately didn't do any session, and we also had a few more we added. And so this is a full list. So Ali, Ines, Matthew, Joseph, Pooja, Keenan, Nandita, Jamie, and Yichao. And you also see Ali and Ines' name are highlighted because each of them actually stayed for 2 days. For the whole conference. So Ali did the Monday and Tuesday, and Ines did Wednesday and Thursday, and just to be basically online from early morning 10:30 until 7 p.m. Just to be there as a backup, and also making assignment of co-hosting and so on and so forth. So I really appreciate their time and help. And of course, I also want to repeat my thanks, to the staff of EEI, particularly Alexandra, and during the conference, and she has been always available and very fast. So like the technical problem we had yesterday, and if we didn't have Alexandra helping us and responding very quickly, we won't be able to announce the switch to MS Teams. And I really appreciate it. I think it's a very professional and support we get. And today as well, actually, she actually also exchanged a lot of emails with me today, and mostly for the best paper award, actually. So I will be announcing later on. And of course, I also want to then repeat all the thanks to members of organizing committee, and member of the PC, and workshop co-chairs, and all reviewers, and members of the steering committee of SecureCom, and all authors submitted to SecureCom 2021, and all participants of the conference, and many others. So that thank all of you, and to make the conference really interesting events. And so this is more like looking back, right, at the events. And I also want to talk about something about looking forward, right? It's not just about 2021 now finished, and it's something we ultimately forget. But what we want to really now look at is what will happen in the future, right? So I would like to say a few words about that. And as Radha said, at the end of this session, there will be a presentation of SecureCom 2022. And I will leave that for that video to give you more details. And in addition to this SecureCom 2022 and University of Kent and my institute of Cybersecurity for Society, we also host ICICS 2022. And many of you would heard about this conference series. And so last year it was in China, I believe. 2019 is in France. And so next year we come to the UK, to Kent, and we already have a web page. So if you want to have a look, please write it down so you can have a check. And in 2023, we will have IFIP HISA 2023, and so this is more human factor-related conference, but many of you would have heard about it. We are still in the process of identifying potentially another larger conference in 2023, because HISA is a sort of a smaller-ish, medium-sized conference, and we are still looking at the possibility of running another one, slightly larger ones, probably in September again, in 2023, and also we are already looking at hosting other conference in 2024, and on our institute webpage, you will see some more details about any events we're running. And so, because we are actually running a virtual conference, and none of you really, managed to come physically to the UK, to the University of Kent. So, so it's really a pity that you couldn't really feel the university, the institute, and the people here, and the place. So I would like to give you a very quick sort of overview of the relevant, the institute, the university, and the place, so that you hopefully we found it interesting enough so that you want to come back and you want to come to visit or come back if you have been here before. First, the institute. So the institute, ICSS, is basically a recognized academic center of excellence in cybersecurity research. And if you are familiar with the UK system, you will know that the National Cybersecurity Center and jointly with Engineering and the Physical Sciences Research Council, and they recognized 19 such academic centers, and we are one of them. And it was 15 in the past, but now it's 19 of such centers. And so this institute, we have I think 16 core members, and from 3 schools: computing and engineering, and politics and international relations. And so hopefully some of you recognize some familiar faces. And we also have close to 60 associate members from 12 different schools. And so the key of the institute is really about the interdisciplinarity, and really about the different disciplines, and the people from different disciplines really working together to make cybersecurity really work, because technical only is not enough. And our main research teams are social technical security and privacy, authentication and authorization, and communication and network security, security testing and verification. So the first one actually is quite a large one, and we are also considering that we probably will redefine the schemes, so such that the first one we've split into 2-ish, and but these actually represent what we are doing broadly. And in addition to the research teams, we also have something called cross-cutting topics, and AI and security, and digital forensics and online harms, information hiding, and quantum cybersecurity. So, and these are the things sort of cross-cutting with the research teams, and many of you, for instance, actually are also working on those topics, and particularly the 1 and 2, because they are bigger, and 3 and 4 are sort of a bit more niche and smaller, but also quite important. And our institute is a little bit different from many other institutes in other universities, and we are not just a research institute, and we are also doing educational activities and innovation activities as well, and wider activities like outreach, professional training, awareness, and public engagement, media communications. And regarding education, I want to say a few words about, we have MSc in cybersecurity program certified by National Cybersecurity Center, again of the UK, and we also have many cybersecurity related modules, and many shared across schools. And we also have quite a lot of extracurricular activities for our students. For instance, capture the flag, and 9/12 competition, and so on and so forth. Okay, so this is about the institute. Hopefully you get some idea of the institute, and for the university, and you already see that the university has a very interesting sort of tagline of the UK's European university. I hope you will quickly understand why. Let's look at where we are. So this is a partial map of Europe, show part of the UK and show part of the European mainland. And then you will see some key cities. London, Amsterdam, Brussels, Paris, and Frankfurt. And all of these places actually are reachable via fast speed train, thanks to the the English Channel tunnel, and which actually allows the Eurostar to pass. So this is interesting place. And the university itself and founded in 1965, and it is something called a plate glass university, and many actually very good universities in the UK actually founded in the 1960s, and we are one of them. And we are called the UK's European University because we have not just campuses in the UK but also in Europe. So currently in Paris and in Brussels. And we have students roughly 20,000. This is probably similar to many other universities. Some pictures of the campus. So if you do come and you will see that, and and we have a lot of green sort of lands, and you can do a lot of things. And you also see the cathedral of Canterbury. And if you did come, and we are likely to be in one of such buildings, and this is one of our most modern buildings, mostly used by business school and mathematics school. And this building actually got an award as well for its unique architecture. And this is actually accommodation options. We actually have a lot of on-campus option for accommodation. And actually, if you were able to come and you would stay on those, accommodation sites, and some we allows you to see the cathedral as well. And of course, we also have a lot of online on-campus dining options as well, and so including barbecue actually. So and because SIGCOMM was originally planned to be in summer, so if we did actually do it physically, and it might be the case that we will arrange a barbecue for lunch. Okay, so this is about the university, and hopefully if you do come in future for a conference we will be hosting, so you will experience them yourself. So finally, I will give a very quick introduction to the city and Canterbury and the county, Kent, and so that hopefully you will see, and it's an interesting place to visit, not just for conferences, but if you actually want to do a sabbatical or research exchange, you want to find a place, please consider University of Kent as well. And the Kent County is roughly that. If you see the thin red lines and outline the county, this is basically the southeastern corner of the UK, and you also see where Canterbury is, and where the university is, and you see where London. And the city of Canterbury actually is a UNESCO World Heritage Site with 3 main, actually very ancient buildings, which are together form this site. And so this is the picture of the cathedral, and which is actually one of the oldest in the UK. And so these are some of the other, landmarks of the city, including a Roman sort of, age cathedral called Canterbury Cathedral, which is partially ruined, but sometimes that makes it look more historically beautiful, actually. And we also have nearly complete, I think half complete city wall, and not very tall, but old enough, and so it's also interesting. And we have a very beautiful river. And in Kent, we also have some other very famous place, and like the White Cliffs of Dover, and many of you would have seen this picture. Very beautiful, actually. And also Dover Castle, and many of you also heard of this. It's the largest castle in the UK, and this also played a very important role in Second World War because of the UK fight against the German invasion. And another very interesting place in Kent is called Leeds Castle, and some of you, if you are familiar with the modern history, and Leeds Castle is the place and played a key role about the peace treaty between Egypt and Israel, and also the actual peace deal between Northern Ireland and the UK government. It's a very beautiful place as well, and not too far from Canterbury. And another place I want to mention in Kent is Rochester Cathedral and the Rochester Castle. And again, these are also very old. And I think Rochester Castle is probably the second oldest oak age, like the Canterbury Cathedral. And the Rochester Castle, if I remember correctly, this is the oldest, more complete castle, I think, in the UK and the English world, maybe. So it's, as you can see, it looks very, very complete and quite interesting, and they are very close, these two. Okay, so these are my concluding remarks with a bit review of the conference and with some looking forward, and also some introduction to our local environment, and hopefully you will be interested in visiting us or visiting us again if you have done this before. Finally, thanks for attending SecureCon 2021, and I will hand it back to Radha for the next.
Maybe I would say also thanks to the general chairs, and join the thanks from the PC chairs to all the people that were thanks.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Radha.
It's a pleasure to work together, basically.
Yeah, and Shujun for the great work and a lot of work to make this conference possible.
Yeah, Sujan did single-handedly enormous amount of details, and thank you so much. It's good to see that there was a backbone structure single-handedly done. Yeah, definitely a big thank you to Sujan for that. It is really wonderful leadership.
Thank you. It's a collective effort. Thanks.
Yeah. And with this, I think now we are moving to the awards presentation. Two categories. One is the papers, other one is also for all the great work the reviewers have done. So this too will be recognized. This seems to be a collection of the general chairs and co-chairs of the event. Again, Morty has asked Sujan to present it. So Sujan, please.
Yeah, okay. So, and originally this was planned to be announced by Moti Yang as a general TPC co-chair, but Moti insisted that I should announce it because actually we did jointly select the best paper and also the outstanding reviewers. And so let's treat this as a genuine collective, team efforts. And yeah, I take the honor to announce these two major category of recognitions. And so hopefully I would like to double check if the authors of the winning paper is in the participant list. Out of my head, it's probably not. Let me see. Maybe I didn't check properly. Okay, so the best paper awards goes to. Okay, hold your breath if you're author of the conference. Facilitating parallel fuzzing with mutually exclusive task distribution, which is a paper I believe presented yesterday. The authors are Yifan Wang, Yuzhen Zhang, Chengbing Pang, Peng Li, Nicholas Chuandopoulos, and Jun Xu. So they are from three affiliations: and Stevens Institute of Technology in the United States, Nanjing University in China, and ByteDance in United States. But as many of you can recognize, ByteDance actually is the TikTok company and headquartered in China. So basically, this is a joint work clearly between researchers in China and in US, between academia and industry. And so I congratulate the authors for this great honor. And may I ask actually if any of the authors are actually in the audience? Let me see. If you are, I think, no. Okay, I will continue. And so this, of course, communication will go offline. I also want to announce that there's also $500 US dollar cash awards, and it's also provided by the Institute. So the Institute of Cybersecurity for Society. And of course, a certificate like this will be sent to the authors. And again, congratulate all the authors for the great work submitted to the conference. I believe because the authors, none of the authors actually said something, I assume they are not attending. So then we will communicate to them via email. Next one. So next one, let me announce the outstanding reviewers. And before I revealing the names, I have to say that all the reviewers did a great job for the conference. And it is actually quite difficult to select some of them and as representative, reviewers, and we had to better define some hard criteria just to make sure that we don't end up with a listing everyone, which that will be a little bit awkward. And so we did consider the quantity, quality, and also the more urgent help we needed. So for instance, for the late track review, we did actually ended up with seeking additional reviewers, and so some of the TPC members actually kindly responded and in pretty much last minutes to offer some help. And so we best consider all of these factors, and we did read all the reviews and to see which ones we consider are more high quality, not just about the length but about what they wrote. Okay, anyway, so this is the list. So we ended up with selecting 38 reviewers. And again, there's a lot of names I will not read out, but we, on behalf of the organizing committee and TPC and co-chairs, and we thank all of them for providing the quality servants again, and for others who are not named. So also thank you, because many of others actually also provided quality review, and but sometimes they didn't review enough. It's not because they didn't want to review enough, because our allocation of papers is a little bit ununiform, because we have to consider the topic match and so on and so forth. Okay, so thank all of them, and certificates will be sent via email to each of the reviewers, and so that they can actually use it, for instance, in their CV or something if they want. And thank all the reviewers again. And finally, I think we basically thanks for everyone for submitting and for and revealing for CQCOM 2021, and it's really a pleasure and honor to really to see so many high quality research and high quality reviews. And Morty, do you want to add a few more sentences at this moment, or?
Yes, maybe I will just say on behalf of the PC chairs, repeat thanking everybody who submitted and definitely reviewed, and this was a very hard task, and you need a community help for achieving it. And there were many good papers and hard to choose, and on the one hand, there are so many slots that you can accept. On the other hand, you are worried about the quality of the conference, and you have to balance it. And everybody was taking all this into account. I want to thank the people that got awarded the best paper. There were a few very strong papers, and finally, this paper was chosen for various reasons: wide applicability, and overall doing a very good work in an important area. And I think overall this conference was an interesting experience because everything had to be done under the pandemic constraint, and really, we saw what we missed by not being physically in the conference in Kent. And this is just a reminder that in spite of bad times, pandemic, and everything that goes on, science goes on, and nurturing science goes on, so we continue. And the area of information security being such an important and urgent area needs to be continued. And thanks to the entire team and especially Shunjun again. And we prove that humanity wins. We go on and continue. So I will end just by saying, long live science.
Great. I would echo that. Okay, so thanks, Marty, for the inspiring added comments. Okay, so I will now stop sharing, and so I will hand back to Radha for the last item of the session. Thanks. I will also stop recording because now we finish this part, because the last part we have a pre-recorded video, so we can just switch to that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sujan. So thank you, everyone.